she holding the blunt hostage? Why are you even saying it like that?
She be fiending.
And she claims that she's not a fiend.
But you acting like a fiend.
But like, I feel like only a fiend would look at it like you're holding a blunt hostage.
Yeah.
Like saying those words in particular sounds a little fiendish.
Yeah.
And then it just made me think of the live, and it made me think about how she fought with Anna. And I'm just like, bro, I know Biggie swears she's not a fiend, but like she be coming off a little fiendy.
She be acting like a crackhead. Like, yo, give me the blood, pass that shit. Yo, like, chill. You're gonna get
Cálmate,
it.
mami, it's okay.
Cálmate.
This the kind of beat to go, this the kind of beat to go, this the kind of beat to go, rock, top, top.
Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah.
Welcome back to another episode of the Petty Headquarters. I'm your host, Tiana Locke, and this is
Jesse Strange.
And we are back at it again with another Baddies recap. Wow, you suddenly want to say it with me?
You know,
You just always switch it up. Like, I never know what I'm gonna get.
What up, Petty Posse?
What
Y'all
up?
new?
What up?
Welcome. We the Petty Headquarters. We cover things like pop culture, internet culture, reality TV, and today we'll be covering baddies.
Of course. So without further ado, let's just get into this week's dose of mess. You have anything you want to say to the people before we start?
No, I really don't.
Nothing
actually.
you want to address?
Is there something you'd like me to address?
No, I'm just saying, like, usually you have some type of announcement.
Yeah, no. You know what it is? A lot of people gave their comments in the last video or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I appreciate everybody being open about them disagreeing with us.
Yeah, 100%.
And I appreciate it, people tuning in anyways, our supporters. We appreciate y'all. You know, I like creating the space. I like the space that we have where we can always agree to disagree and still have conversation.
Exactly. Me too. I love that. Anywho, let us take it back. This is episode 10, y'all. I just want to say this episode was so fucking boring.
Oh my God. Why does everybody say that?
I just feel like since I've been on a Bad Girls Club, like OG reality TV binge watch, I'm looking at Baddies like, oh my God, like it's just so not creative.
It's not creative, but I'm not going to lie. Everybody, like, I'm going to take the opposite take on this. I actually enjoyed this episode, and I have been enjoying the calm. Like, I have been. I know DTB recently came out and was like,
she did.
Y'all should apologize to the
Baddies
big three,
Africa.
to Baddies Africa and to Baddies Caribbean, because compared to Baddies USA, they were lit ass seasons, and she's saying that Baddies USA is boring.
Right.
However, I'd like to think that DTV is doing what she does best and is preparing us for chapter 2 of Baddies USA.
Right.
Because that's where she'll be on.
Right.
And I think that Baddies USA, yes, there are slower episodes. But the only thing I will say is that I really don't like seeing Lemmy Plummer and the whole Scotty thing here, because this isn't Scotty with the baby. This is Baddies.
Mm-hmm.
So I will say that's the only thing. Other than that, though, I really do like the calmness. I really do. I find it funny. This episode, a lot of people said it was boring. I disagree. I actually enjoyed just the conversation and the dialogue.
Well, there's a difference between calm conversation and dialogue and actual storytelling. That's the problem. Because Baddies has no storytelling, when we get dialogue, it doesn't feel like there's anything. Because Baddies is mostly based off of fights, right? You go in, you fight, and that's the drama. It doesn't feel like there's anything interesting happening when people are having conversations. It's not like you're having an insightful conversation. It's not like you're having a creative beef discussion. It's not like you're doing something funny, even though it doesn't involve fighting. Like, I just feel like y'all are just talking to talk, and it's a waste of fucking space, and it doesn't go anywhere. We don't get any new information. It's the same thing that is repeating. It's redundant when they talk. That's the problem. When they sit down and they have these 4 scenes, it's fucking redundant. I'm tired of hearing about the same old beef. Do something new. Have something creative. You know what I mean? Like, put hot sauce in the juice. I don't fucking know. Like, I don't know. Play a prank. I don't know. Like, there's just no creativity. Go to a male strip club. Do something. Like, it's like they don't go nowhere. They don't do nothing. It's just performing, meet up, house meeting fight.
No.
I'm tired of
No,
it.
no, no,
what
no.
did we
I
okay,
disagree.
let's get into the episode.
No,
let's get into
Hold
because
on.
we gotta talk
Hold
about
on.
let's get into the episode.
We will, but I totally disagree. I totally disagree with you completely. You know why? We're in Milan, despite how I feel about it. We're in Milan. The girls are not in the house anymore. It's not the same old shit. You got girls in the hotel. You got girls walking down the street. Like
It's even more boring because everybody's so fucking Hollywood. It's so fucking boring. Like, I'm like, damn, like, can I see the girls not glammed up for once? Like, can we see some real shit? Can we see some raw shit? I'm tired of seeing these damn scenes where y'all set up the scene, have the girls come and talk about the same old shit.
That's baddies. That's baddies. And I feel like going back
I'm bored.
to tell me nah. That whole scene with Biggie and Tommy, bro, had me cracking up the entire time.
Oh no, that scene
about?
was great. That scene was great. I'm talking about the other scenes with Summer. I'm over it. The Dolly and Summer part, especially. Let's get into it. And then let's talk about it because I don't want to keep dragging this out. Anywho, so episode 10 starts off from, of course, Gretchen and Suki. They fight. You know, Gretchen attacks Suki. Security breaks it up. Now, why the fuck did Gretchen say you got cum is coming out your pussy?
Yo,
I was like, what did she say? Like, I had to play it back. She said, I could see the cum coming out your pussy. I'm like, oh my God.
Nah, because didn't Suki call her a chicken or a fried chicken? No.
Frog leg? She called her frog leg?
She called her frog
I don't know
legs.
what the fuck she called her, bitch. I was so over it. I was like, can we move on? Can we fucking move on? Like, I'm done here. So they go back and forth. They're arguing. I really don't give a fuck.
I'm not gonna lie though, Gretchen's confessionals had me cracking the
No,
fuck
they
up.
really did.
Nah,
They really
she's
did.
really a funny villain, bro. And I ain't gonna lie. Yo, she's ready to square up every time.
No, for real.
I'm sorry. Bitch, get the fuck out of here.
The way she came in with her neck wrapped up, though, I'm not gonna lie. That shit really had me
Suki
weak.
called her a chicken cutlet. That's what she said. She said, you look like a chicken cutlet. And then Gretchen was like, you look like Barney, bitch. And then that's when she also said, you look like you got cum coming out your pussy.
That's how you know I was so over it because I did not hear her say you look like Barney. She kind of do look like Barney though.
It's Baby Bop. She look like Baby Bop.
Yes, that is. If Suki does look like she kind of do. She should dress up as her as Halloween.
That's why she got the necklace of Baby Bop.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Okay, well, at least she knows.
Yeah.
At least she knows.
Yeah.
So at this point, Rolly says in her confessional that Suki was wrong. Like, let's just leave this in the Caribbean. What do you think about that?
You know, at the end of the day, we already know Rolly's a hypocrite. But I do want to clock that Suki called Gretchen a cokehead.
Oh, she did, right? She said she not arguing no cokehead or some shit like that.
I was like,
Yes, I was like, okay, what's tea?
okay, white girl.
Ooh. Right. So now this is where we get into the whole conflict of Rolly telling the girls that the people that got booed the most will not be performing.
Mm-hmm.
So because Summer got booed the most, they say that she won't perform. Dolly got booed. She's not performing. But they didn't say anything about Lex or Nunu. They also got booed a little bit. Not as much as Summer, but a little bit. We were there. We were at the event. So now Summer is causing a whole commotion. Like, the fuck? Like, why does Lex get to perform? Like, she got booed too.
She got booed?
Mm-hmm.
I don't recall
Lex
her
did
getting-
get booed. I remember. She got booed in the beginning, and then it kind of trickled down. It wasn't as bad as Summer. Like, Summer, you couldn't even hear her perform.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like the crowd, like, even if it was for a minor second, compared to the others, like Gretch, Dolly, and Summer, like, you can't say Lex got booed. You really can't.
I can say that because she did. Those are the facts. That's what happened when we were there. She got booed and it trickled down. It was not as bad as Dolly or Summer, but she still got booed. And then there were some people down in the lower crowd saying Big Ivory. Big Ivory, Big Ivory. But that was like it wasn't that long. So obviously it could be debunked, like, oh, she didn't get booed, but she did in fact get booed. But Lex does ask, can we get clarity on who got booed? And I'm wondering if she asked because she knows she got booed. It's like, why would you ask that if you didn't get booed? So now Summer points at Lex, Dolly about who got booed because she said she's still performing. She's like, I'm still performing. I don't give a fuck. And starts a whole thing.
Yeah, she keeps antagonizing them too. And I think it's funny because it's like, okay, I get it. They're not your friends, but like, I guess I'm not surprised coming from a girl who attacked another female for getting the Baddies chain.
Yeah.
But like, it's crazy, and I can understand how it feels going back to what I was saying about Lex and Dolly, you know, them thinking that they were actually all friends.
Mm-hmm.
How this girl who you thought had, you know, was your friends, even though, again, they still haven't accepted it, even though she's been telling them. But it's like, how can you throw me under the bus like that? Even like, why are you such a hater? But Summer's always been a hater. Like, let's be real. That's the same bitch that fucking attacked, who was it? Who got the Baddies chain?
What's her name? Jasmine? Jazz.
Jazz?
I
Yeah.
I think that was her name. Yeah,
Exactly.
Jazz. Yeah. And then at this point, Summer's like, it's my way or the motherfucking highway. My way or the motherfucking highway. And then decides to bring up her beef with Mariah. She's like, we're not done. You did something to me in the club. I need that or some shit. They go back and forth and they start fighting. I can't when they fight. Like, what is the point? I don't get it.
I love how Summer tried to call out Anna too, and Anna's
She
like,
did? I'm not fighting you.
of course she's not. I got my Louis V's on, and I'm like, oh my God. I love how Anna just picks and chooses when she fights and when she doesn't.
Yeah.
But then when Mariah snuck Summer, you know, jumped over the couch, you saw how quick Anna was to run behind her.
Yes.
With her Louis V's that she didn't want to ruin.
Yes. Jumped over the couch and all that.
She didn't attack her, but still, it looked like she was about to.
It did look like she was about to.
I thought it was funny, though, because when Mariah did that, Anna and Biggie were just dying in the background. They thought it was hysterical.
They were. And now at some point, I think Tommy's already, and she gets to the house at this point. And she goes to the kitchen to speak with Rolly. And now Biggie's like, I'll be back. Goes to the kitchen and she's just sitting in there. But then at some point, she just decides to confront Tommy about the whole situation, about how she acted towards her, said that her performance was ass. She was also talking shit, like how she had the best performance. The crowd was hyped with her. The crowd didn't even know your song, like all this stuff. And it's a fact.
No, it's true.
It's a fact.
Yeah, because she was saying how Tommy didn't even remember her lyrics.
She didn't. And we clocked that when we were there.
Yeah, and that she was still cheering her on from the back.
And it's crazy because Tasiki and Anna even vouched for Biggie. Like, yeah, like she's always having your back. Like she's always talking about you. Like even when other people be talking shit about you, she's the one that always vouches for you and everything. So yeah, she's hurt.
Yeah, and I think it was nice to see that they were sticking up for Biggie.
Yeah.
But also like you could really tell Biggie was like really hurt by this.
Yeah, she really was. She really was. And for Tommy to sit there and also say like, you know what? You're done. We're not friends anymore. It's like, you were never her friend. From the moment you said, believe him, bitch.
Right.
It was done.
And that's why I thought it was funny how Big E was like, when security got in between them and she's like, I'm not going to hit her. What did she call herself? She said, I'm not a cornball. I'm not a cornball like her. And then 2 seconds later, she mushes the shit out of Tommy.
She did.
Bro, I was like, yo.
So Biggie, she wants Tommy to apologize. You know, Tommy said there's nothing she needs to apologize for. She refuses. And in the middle of them just going back and forth over the same thing, Biggie just, boom. Did she smush her or did she slap her?
It looked like a slap,
It
and
did,
I
right?
wrote down a slap at first, but then when, like, I guess thinking about it, it was like a hard mush.
It was a
very hard mush.
It was a very hard mush.
But even Biggie calls out, like, Tommy, look how much pride you have that you can't even apologize.
Yes.
And I ain't gonna lie, Tommy looked crazy. Like,
She
even the way
did.
she was talking, she was like, what up, big? Like, bro, and Biggie was calling her out. Like, don't be acting like we're cool
Like
when we're
nothing
not.
happened.
Right.
Right.
And you could tell, like, yo, I'm not gonna lie, like, Biggie's always an emotional gangster for real. I agree with Rolly when it comes to that, but like, she was hurt by this one for real.
She really was. And I didn't like that Tommy was like being so prideful, because I'm like, that's how you know that's not your friend. Like you're not even taking it seriously. And Tommy's definitely the type of mom to not apologize to her kids.
100%.
She's the type of mom to do some crazy shit and then an hour later you want some food. You hungry? You want to eat dinner? There's food. Come on and eat. Like without even addressing the situation, without even apologizing. And that's something that is just, a thing with, like, I guess, like moms, single moms that had trauma, went through a lot of trauma, and it's fucked up. It's fucked up. Stuck in their ways. Can't apologize.
But I thought it was interesting how Summer, she mentioned something about liking Summer or having Summer's back.
Yeah.
And Summer was mad happy, like, yeah, Tommy. And then that's when Biggie's like, be careful meeting the people you look up to.
Yes,
because
she
they
did
gonna
say
disappoint
that.
you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that's how you know she's hurt.
Yeah. I would be hurt too because, not for nothing, they were mad cool. Like, I really thought that, Tommy would hold it down with how cool they were. But the way that she just kept downplaying their friendship too, like, oh, it was never like that. Like,
Biggie went against Natalie for you. Like, she chose you over Natalie, which is crazy.
Yeah. On multiple occasions. And that's the thing. Yeah, and that's something that nobody's pointing out. Not even Tommy herself.
Even in was it Caribbean where
It was
she invited
Caribbean.
her like without letting Natalie know or something like that?
And then she did her own dinner with Tommy, with Tasiki. Yes, that was crazy.
So for Tommy to say all that is so fucked up.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm happy Biggie stood up for herself, because a lot of people be trying to punk her. Like, it's very easy to just, punk her. And I'm happy she stood up for herself and stood her ground.
And you just reminded me, at some point when Tasiki, Mariah, Anna were sticking up for Biggie, they mentioned something that I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
They said something about Biggie, her trauma about being the butt of the joke.
Yeah.
And I thought that was interesting because that's literally something you see bothers Biggie very often.
Yeah, for sure.
Is being the joke. And that's what always ends up taking her off. Like with E.T. and the guns, the water guns, and the water balloon.
Water balloons.
Right.
Yeah.
And shit like that. So I thought that was interesting as well.
It's true. That's why she always gets mad. Like, she got mad at Sapphire when Sapphire was making fun of her. She got mad at Anna when Anna was like, Biggie, it's just a joke. Clearly, there is some deeper, like, triggers there because she probably always looked at herself as, like, even though she knows she's lit, she always probably felt the need to prove herself as, like, an actual baddie because she's not a fighter. All the girls that fight always get the most attention. She's also not
the conventional looking one,
right,
which is why
that's another thing.
I'm proud and I'm like, it makes me happy to see that Biggie flexes the fact that she don't want a BBL, that she got the price of the BBL on her bracelets.
She
and
said,
shit like
I got a BBL on my wrist.
Yeah.
I was like, you ate with that. You ate. I was like, yeah, good. Shit. She said, I'm a proud fat bitch. I was like, oh my God. But, I'm pretty sure, sometimes the comments bother her. Like, and the girls on the cast, they make their comments too. So I think that's like the biggest thing. And then always trying to prove herself to Natalie. And Natalie always like making jokes about her too. And yeah, this is why she got mad. Talking about, you always want to do a bad Betty shot clock, bro.
It is so funny because after, Biggie mushed Tommy, she's like, I fucking loved you. I fucking loved you. And then Tommy's like, let me hug her. Let's hug it out. Let me hug her.
Bitch, you do not want to hug. She talking about, let us hug. Hug? Bitch, you do not want to hug. You want to fight. You don't want to hug.
Her talking about let us hug got me crying. I was like, Tommy, please.
Right, let us hug. I was like, are you dead ass? Like, you are not serious right now. Like, this woman cannot be serious.
Yo, but it's crazy because when this whole thing is happening, I'm like, wow, there goes Zeus breaking another friendship.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Moment of silence for Tommy and Biggie's friendship.
Well,
moving on.
Yeah. So Biggie goes back in the other room where all the other girls are. Everybody's so shocked to see Biggie with her wig off. Like, Biggie, what happened? All that bullshit. So Rolly confronts Tommy about how she feels like Tommy shouldn't have been laughing in Biggie's face. And that's another thing that she was doing while they were arguing. Like, you weren't taking her seriously. And going back to what you were saying about Biggie being triggered by being the butt of the joke. Her laughing in her face just triggered her. And that's why she smushed her. Because it's like, I want you to apologize to me. I actually want to work on our friendship. And you're being so fucking prideful and stubborn that you don't even want to work on this shit. You don't even want to apologize. And like, the situation was really never that deep. for it to get to where it got to.
Yeah, Tommy was wrong.
She was.
Tommy was wrong.
It was never that deep though.
But to expect an apology from someone like Tommy when she literally threw the shot glass at this kid in the audience and literally continues to deny
the
it.
fact that that was on the news, bitch, I did not know that was on the news.
You didn't know?
No, I found out today.
Yes. He's
That's
suing.
bad. Good for him.
I think.
I don't know
Unless
if
Zeus
he
paid
is.
him out.
Probably did. They probably
And he's a
fucking
little
did.
kid, so he don't
And
know better.
Yeah, exactly. And he was in the front row too. Jesus.
Shit.
He was in the front row.
Don't ever let that bad
It's
accident
just
happen to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
It's just that the fact that Baddies was on the news, like,
It's always on the news.
for bad things, unfortunately.
Why else?
Jesus. And that's what pisses me the fuck off. Like, oh my God. We're gonna see something very soon talking about surviving Zeus. I'm telling you. It's getting out of hand. So now Tommy says that, that her and Biggie already confronted the situation. They already cleared everything out. They already spoke. And Tommy is showing the girls the text messages, Anna and Tasiki. Now, Anna and Tasiki, they're like, she told us she didn't speak to you. And Tommy's like, no, we spoke yesterday. Look at the messages. Look. And I don't know what was the messages. They didn't show it. They didn't read it out loud. So I don't really know. I don't have any information to go up there. But I just think it's interesting that, like, how do you believe that? Do you believe they really settled it? Or Tommy in her head, she thinks she settled it through the text. How can you settle something like that through text, though?
I don't trust none of these girls at the end of the day, right? Like, so I don't know. I mean, it could have just been a thing that Biggie felt how she felt and said it, but there's nothing like talking about it in person.
Yeah.
But also talking about it in person in front of cameras. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, Tommy says it, end of their friendship, and that was the confessional.
She did. She said, bitch, I'm done. You're done. We're done. I'm like, wow, okay. That was it. And she leaves. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
That we see of Tommy. She leaves, right?
Yeah.
Does anything else happen in the house? I don't think so, right?
No.
The girls just leave
Rolly
to go to...
continues saying that, Summer is not going to perform because she got booed or whatever. And Summer got mad. She walks out. And then they get back on the bus.
I know for a fact that Big Lex definitely got booed when she came out. It wasn't as severe or strong as Summer's and Dolly's, but there was that first round of boos, but then it trickled down. There's that favoritism towards.
I think that people are reaching. Like, yeah, it was a little bit of a boo, but it was nothing compared to Gretchen getting bottles thrown at her. It wasn't compared to Tommy being sloppy.
Yeah.
It wasn't compared to fuck Dolly. Or it wasn't compared to Summer.
Couldn't even hear her.
It's nothing compared to any of that. Yeah, maybe a little bit of booze, but like.
But that's the point, though. I think that's what it is.
No, the point is Natalie said whatever's bad for the brand, and I feel like when you really think about it, out of all those people, let's be real. At the end, Lex had the crowd going. Everybody was cheering her. Yeah, you had some people talking about Big Ivory, but people were being fucking annoying for the cameras.
Right,
like, they were being messy for the
sure.
cameras.
Right.
So it's like, let's be real. Compared to everybody I just mentioned, Lex is liked. You know what I mean? So I feel like them trying to bring her down because they're the villains too, I feel like is a little bit of hater shit. And that's why, like, I feel like somebody clocked it in the house. I think Rolly said it. Like, you're a hater, Summer. Like, you're really a fucking hater. Like, and even Lex said it to her. Like, you want to bring me down. You want to take my shine. Like, just because you're mad that you got fucking, you're the villain. Like,
yo, when Summer said, I'm a villain, they were like, huh? A what? Bro, I'm telling you, you mean villain? Girl, this is what I mean when I say, like, Summer really needs some type of education because it's off.
Nah,
it's really off.
I feel like she's trolling, though, because Suki does the same thing.
But Summer's really like that. I don't think Summer's trolling. I don't think we've seen a lot of crazy ignorance where it really shows the emotional intelligence as well as the reading level. Like, let's be honest here. We've seen a lot of that. So I don't think that was a joke. She was dead ass.
Well, she was very adamant about performing and like not taking no for an answer. So she goes and calls Natalie Nunn
While they're on the bus, right?
While they're on the bus.
Yeah.
And they're like, the girls are not fucking with it. They're like, yo.
Fauna's like, don't call her.
Mhm.
Why would you call her? But she calls her anyway.
Nat answers and she's like, whoever got booed is bad for the brand and they're just not performing. And Summer says, and it goes back to the Lex conversation. And yeah, like, I don't know. I guess this is like a fucked up situation and it pissed a lot of girls off in the bus because they're like, yo, why are you? Because I feel like because of Summer, everyone's gonna get in trouble. You know that one kid that fucks it up for everybody?
Yeah.
Because like you see at the end of the episode, Nat is gonna go off on everybody.
No, literally. And this is where Rolly does call her a hater on the bus. Like, you know, they're going back and forth. But it's so funny because as Summer is talking to Natalie, she's saying, this bitch said da-da-da. And Rolly gets so mad. Like, who you calling a bitch? Who's the bitch? Like, you know. Oh my God. Then they start going back and forth and Summer's standing up on the seat on the bus. And I'm like, whoa, let's calm down here. Like, what is about to go down? But to be honest with you, I really just don't care for this. Like, I mean, yes, we can say that there is a little bit of favoritism, but I do understand what you mean when you say whatever is bad for the brand, because in that moment, Summer was definitely bad for the brand. Gretch was bad for the brand. Dolly was bad for the brand. So it's like, I understand that. But because they phrased it as whoever got booed, to me, I'm like, okay, well, Les got booed. Like, if you want to be literal, like, yeah, she got booed.
And I also feel like they're not talking enough about how Tommy's also bad for the brand because she fucked up her performance completely.
That's true. She didn't get booed though.
No, doesn't matter. She still is not good for the brand, and they end up, I think, learning that lesson in Chicago.
Yeah, that's where she threw the glass, right?
Correct, exactly, and that's what I'm saying.
They should have told her ass she couldn't perform
from New York. Like, how do you get so fucked up? You don't remember your lyrics. That performance was horrendous. It was so sloppy. So the fact that Tommy just gets to go around and, you know, you got Summer who at least performed and you know, fuck Dolly. Dolly, like, ate that performance despite her getting, you know, hate from the crowd. Yeah. Even Gretch. Out of all those people, in my opinion, number one that should have been kicked out was Tommy.
Agreed.
Because she... out of everything, at least the other girls, they executed. They didn't let the crowd bother them, and they finished hard. Yeah. Despite whether you heard them or not, doesn't matter. They finished. Fucking Tommy couldn't even remember her lyrics. No. She sounded offbeat. Yes. She sounded sloppy. Yes. She sounded like so drunk that you couldn't even understand what the fuck she was saying.
All you heard was, huh? Yeah. And then we said... I don't even know what the fuck she was saying.
Girl, we didn't hear anything. So the fact that they're hyper focused on Summer, I feel like they're doing it on purpose because guess what? Summer is the star. Summer's the star of the show. Without Summer, because it's like, let's be real. If you want to talk about the second one who's more of a liability is Gretch because they threw a water bottle at her. Like, that's the second one. But you ain't hear Gretch's name at all.
No.
Right? And Summer, it's because Summer's making it a big deal. But still, at the end of the day, Summer, I think, is like, I don't know, third or fourth problematic, like compared to the Tommy and Gretch, in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%. Everybody got Summer's name in their mouth. Point blank, period. So this is where Fauna and Cold Killer talk about some shit, right? Do they talk about the Nunu situation again?
Yeah, they're talking about checking temperatures and what it means to check a temperature. Kind of over this checking temperature.
Yeah, I'm over it. I feel like there's nothing to talk about.
It's funny though, because Cold Killer actually ended up posting something online saying that I'm smart because I knew that if I spoke about my homegirl long enough that they would bring her back. So I guess there was some strategy behind that. I guess this is why we're still 10 episodes in talking about checking temperatures.
I guess, but I'm not gonna lie, like, I'm over it. Like, the first few episodes, okay, that's cool, but the fact that we're still on it with Nunu and K-Rican and this whole shit, like, can we wrap it up?
Yeah. So then they're switching scenes. Like, outside is Biggie, Lex, Mariah, Nunu. They're recapping the Suki and Gretch thing.
Yeah. They're recapping the jumping situation.
Right. Mariah says that Gretch needs to stop drinking. Yeah. But she can't judge Suki Suki because she jumps too.
That's true.
But she's also ready to jump in at any moment.
Right. That's very true.
And then we jump back to KK and Fauna.
Yeah.
And she asked Fauna, like, did you check in on Gretch? Because this is where we find out that she's in the hospital. She got sliced up.
Right. That's right. She's in the hospital. Did she need to go to the hospital for that, though?
Yeah, that's what they showed a clip of her going to the hospital.
Who took that clip?
I don't know.
I'm like, who the fuck be recording?
Production.
The fucking vertical 9x16 clip.
The PA.
Right. Oh my goodness. So at some point, Summer does apologize to Rolly, but she still brings up the fact that she feels like it's unfair that Lex is allowed to perform even though she also got booed.
That's right. That's when Rolly and Tasiki are chatting outside, right? Summer looks clean.
She does.
On this episode, like
She
on this
does.
day.
Mhm.
Like she's not drinking.
Yeah.
You know, so she definitely comes in with a different energy.
Yeah, it's a very different energy.
Not an
for sure.
antagonizing
No.
one.
No. And once they get to the next house, they have another meeting. And it's so funny because they were like, damn, another house meeting in less than 24 hours.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie. That's the first time in Baddies history I've seen so much house meetings back to back. I ain't gonna lie.
There was like a weird gap. Like
There was,
it
right?
seemed like there was nothing going on.
But this is what I'm saying. And this is why I feel like this episode was so boring because it didn't even flow well. There was no structure. Like it's really the storytelling.
I guess, but like I also got to again go like there was details that I was able to pick up on because I had time to focus instead of being distracted by the fighting. For example, you saw the live recently with Biggie when they went to Korea with Lex fighting with Natalie.
Yes,
Okay.
I saw that.
So you know that they were fighting and it started over a blunt. And I thought this was funny because in this episode, at the end, you catch it. And it's such a slight moment, but I think it's funny because this isn't the first time we see Biggie fight over weed.
Yeah.
Because in Caribbean, was it Caribbean where she fought with Anna?
Yeah.
Because she was like, Anna didn't want to give it to her. She wanted her to pay. And so Biggie made it a big deal like, oh, I pay for everything. Why do you da-da-da? It's always about money, right? Same thing. It felt very familiar with the Lex live, right? But then it was funny because right when they get up from being outside, Mariah, Biggie, Tasiki, was Nunu, Lex, whatever.
Sapphire, yeah.
All of them.
Oh, no, Sapphire. was
Mariah's like, oh, let's go inside because it's cold. And Biggie's like, oh, is there something about not lighting up the blunt? She goes, oh, you holding the blunt hostage? And Mariah's like, no, I'm not holding it hostage. I'm going to light it up when we get inside. She's like, nah, you holding it hostage. It's a joke. But I'm like, oh, it's so funny that you make those jokes and probably those jokes end up becoming arguments with the wrong person because it's like, what you mean she holding the blunt hostage? Why are you even saying it like that?
She be fiending.
And she claims that she's not a fiend.
But you acting like a fiend.
But like, I feel like only a fiend would look at it like you're holding a blunt hostage.
Yeah.
Like saying those words in particular sounds a little fiendish.
Yeah.
And then it just made me think of the live and it made me think about how she fought with Anna. And I'm just like, bro, I know Biggie swears she's not a fiend. But like, she be coming off a little fiendy.
She be acting like a fucking crackhead. Like, yo, give me the blood, pass that shit. Yo, like, chill. You're gonna get
Cálmate,
it.
mami, it's okay.
Cálmate. Like, bitch. Oh my goodness.
So yeah, going back to that.
They go to the house meeting, the second one in less than 24 hours. And Dolly, she gets up immediately asking, is this a real house meeting or a playhouse meeting?
Yeah.
Because she has a few things that she wants to address to Summer. And he immediately confronts her and says, I'm not with the, you talking your shit, running your mouth, because I'm letting you know that if you keep doing that, I will fuck you up. Long story short, and she's not playing with her, and she just keeps going. Dolly keeps going off, and
she's
Summer,
crashing out.
She's crashing out. Summer's like, okay. Okay, yeah, yeah, the whole time. And because it's like, Summer's like, I don't want to fight you. Like, we were friends. I'm not going to fight someone that I was friends with. And she says that while Dolly's going off. But Dolly's like, no, but you just keep talking, keep running your mouth. Like, Lex is being chill with you, but me, like, I will actually beat shit out of you. Like, stop playing with me like that. Like, I know we were friends, but that doesn't mean you get to just run your mouth because we were friends. And she makes it known, an additional point, for everyone else to stay out of the big three's business, which I thought was very interesting. I didn't think she was going to say all of that.
Well, it's about time because Dolly been sleeping the last 10 episodes.
No,
so,
she really was.
You know,
She really
it's
was.
like, damn, if we need Summer to bring that life to you, then shit. Because Dolly been sleeping this whole time. I don't know what got into her.
Right.
But
Right.
at least we hearing her.
Right.
Because she been quiet.
Yeah. And she was just like, the same way we didn't get involved in Krishan and Tasiki shit, like, don't get involved in our shit. And I was like, ooh. Okay, like then they started going back and forth about who got involved. Suki said, I only said this, I only said that, but I'm gonna say whatever I want to say. And I'm just like, oh my God.
Ego.
Yeah, very unnecessary. Very unnecessary.
It goes on for a long time.
It does. And I think this is also why I said that this episode was boring, because this scene was so dragged out and it didn't need to be. So I don't know if the episode was boring because of the editor. Maybe.
No. I disagree.
Why do you disagree when it clearly, you just said it was dragged out?
It was dragged out, but it's better to have this dialogue than to see the jump cuts. I hate that. Like, I'd rather this because it feels more authentic. I feel like in real life, this is like, you're not gonna get the boom, 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 fight.
That's not what I want.
I know, but like, I feel like this is the common thing. It's more than just fighting, but that's what Baddies is known for. So I'm gonna say fighting as the prime example. But I feel like I like to see the boring stuff because then I get to focus and get to know the people for who they are, right? So like, I feel like I got to know Biggie a little bit more in this episode. I feel like I got to see Tommy for who she is, even though I kind of already knew, but instead of getting her in mini clips and then fight, and then she leaves, and then she jumps, I got to actually see dialogue, whether it was dumb or not, or dragged out, yes, but like, I don't know, I'm not mad at the calm shit. I'm really not. Or like the dragged out shit, because at least I'm seeing personality here. Like Dolly going on forever. At least, damn, like, I mean, I feel like I haven't heard her all season. So that whole thing made up for like 10 episodes.
Yeah, I guess like where I'm coming from, I'm not mad at the dialogue. Like there can be dialogue. And this is why I'm saying, I don't know if this is like an editor thing or the flow, but I would just like to see different elements. Like I'm not upset at the dialogue. We can have the dialogue, but sometimes I just feel like because they're always in one setting, it feels just stagnant.
They're
like
not in one setting. They
they're
just
in
got
the
to
room.
Chicago.
They're in the room.
But they just
for
got
a
to
long-ass
Chicago.
time. But it's like I'm not seeing anything that is like it's stationary.
No, I think what you're not seeing is the creativity, because like you mentioned earlier, the difference between a Bad Girls Club, what we mentioned earlier, right? Baddies is based off of fighting. Pretty much, that is the premise. That is how you become big.
But you can also add some drama that doesn't involve fighting.
Right. When you're in a show that actually doesn't care, like doesn't want you to fight or doesn't need you to fight, but because Baddies, especially what it is now, what it's become, is known for girls fighting, they pick storylines and they fight. That's pretty much what Baddies is. Now, when you come off of watching Bad Girls Club, we talked about, you mentioned it. You said, because they weren't allowed to fight, they had to be creative on how to antagonize each other, how to get someone to be problematic without fighting. And that's where that good storylines come in, because there's creativity. I feel like because people condone fighting here, all it is fighting. So when you don't have that and you have a little bit of back and forth, it feels kind of dry to people, because it's like, in all reality, that's what Baddies is. And I feel like that's what it lacks, right? It lacks that creativity, but it always did,
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's all I was trying to say. Like, I guess I was trying to say that I'm not there only for the fights, because I know the people, majority of them that said that this episode was boring, they just want to see the fights.
And I'm talking on behalf of them. I'm not talking like about you.
Okay. But I'm just saying, like, I would just like to see, sometimes, you know what it is? Sometimes Baddies just feels very stationary. Like, even though they're going from place to place, it feels very like formulated. Like, I don't know. I feel like now where this episode is, we're going back to the same formula. Like, now that Natalie's not there, it's like same formula. Go somewhere, house meeting. You could tell Rolly, like, yes, she's in charge, but it just felt like house meeting, leave, house meeting. Like, can we do something else? Like, can we go somewhere else? Like, I don't know. It just felt very stationary to me. And then of course Milan, but I guess this episode to me felt stationary. Like even though they were on the bus, it was too dragged out. Bus, room, Milan. Like talk. I was just bored. I don't know. That was it for me.
All right. So now we're in Milan. The scenery's different. You know, Scotty's talking about how she wants to start modeling and get into fashion, and Jayla's been into fashion, so she's like besties with Scotty. So Scotty's like, there's this whole newfound friendship, which I was like so like interested by. But then I was really surprised at the conversation, the only conversation that actually caught my attention, which was Natalie. Because here we find out that Scotty is upset that Natalie allowed the relationship with Scotty and Lemmy to interfere with their friendship, which I feel like we kind of already knew when they were fighting over the Thanksgiving food.
It wasn't Thanksgiving.
Whatever. The chicken.
It wasn't Thanksgiving.
Whatever fucking plate.
Yeah, because you ordered a second plate in the Caribbean.
Right.
In the Caribbean. It wasn't Thanksgiving, no, bitch.
Bitch, I don't fucking know. Shit felt like Thanksgiving.
The Thanksgiving
Because they was arguing over a second plate, bitch.
Yeah, because Scotty, you know what it is? It wasn't about the food. What it was about was Natalie felt like you're getting comfortable because now you're dating Mr. CEO. So now you're talking to me like I didn't introduce you to this shit, that I didn't bring you with me, that I didn't put you on, that I didn't build you up. That's how Natalie is, right? Rewatching Bad Girls Club, Kendra was the first Scotty. Kendra, if you ever watched Natalie's season, was the first fucking Scotty. And now Scotty is the next Kendra. And this is what Natalie does. Like, she looks for people who's weaker than her that she could control. And it's the same thing. That's how she views relationships with people and power dynamics. She does that a lot. She's always done that. So to her, it's like, okay, you're dating someone that has more power than me. Now you feel like you could talk to me how you want. Like, now you think you're bigger than the program. Now you think you're acting entitled. That's what she always called her, entitled. Da 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 da. Because now you're running off at the mouth. You're forgetting where you came from. You're forgetting who created you, right? And that's essentially what she said. She does say she created a monster. Do you remember in Caribbean? She said that when they fought, and I'm just like, wow, that's so funny. Natalie has not changed at all. So that is where the deeper root of you ordered 2 plates came from. And I just think it's so interesting.
I'm surprised that they mentioned it, that Scotty talked about it.
Me
on
too.
camera, though.
I didn't think she was going to talk about it ever again.
Yeah. So, I mean, we kind of already knew. And I guess going back to, is Scotty a girl's girl? I think that is a prime example of Scotty not being a girl's girl, because obviously she chooses the man.
Right.
And this was the same thing with Megan and her best friend. And then, you know, we have Nicki Minaj, all these girls who are not girls. And that's not to say that I, still don't like Scotty. I just feel like, again, she's annoyed me this season. But people forget a lot of the times that Scotty is not that innocent. You know, when she was seeing Lemmy, Janisha and Lemmy were still a thing, and then, unfortunately, I guess Scotty can say Natalie let Lemmy get in between us, but in all reality, the only person who is kind of the bad guy here is Lemmy.
Right. But I love how she doesn't mention that. And that's one of the things that I thought about when I heard her talk. And I'm like, you're really telling me she let your relation, to me, what it sounded like, Lemmy was doing something, he was saying something, and Scotty probably didn't have her back. Look, I mean, like, the little glimpse that we saw when Natalie went live with her and Lemmy arguing, and Lemmy talking about call Louis, and Natalie talking about I'm being threatened, all this stuff. That was like the first time we ever saw a little tiny glimpse. Now, who knows? Because we didn't see anything before. Who knows what was going on behind the scenes with Natalie and Lemmy, that she probably felt Scotty didn't have her back when it came to those situations, because she was fucking with Lemmy, and Lemmy tells her what to do. And the same way she texted T talking about Lemmy said, I can't talk to you anymore or follow you on Instagram, probably did the same shit with Natalie.
It's the same way, what's her name, felt, the City Girls, what's her name felt
Young
about
Miami, JT and Young Miami.
Yeah, same thing, where Young Miami was like, yeah, I got it now because I'm with Mr. CEO. And you know how how
Diddy.
that turns out, right?
Diddy.
So
Yeah. Crazy. It's crazy what these women will do,
you know what I find most interesting is that how like history always repeats itself,
Yeah.
and then we are always so shocked when it does.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess history doesn't repeat itself, but history does rhyme. And I think it's interesting because, Lemmy Plummer just came out with the Wingstop jingle, and I couldn't believe how many people, and I was going to repost it and write my thoughts, but then I just didn't want to promote his song.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say it here because it's our platform. I really cannot believe how many people were in the comments from Zeus Network just
Yo,
his D real hard. Because it's like, this shit is not that cool. This shit is actually kind of corny.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just hyping him up. It feels like what they did when Diddy was first rising. And you guys know the type of things he does behind the scenes. He's not an innocent person.
Right.
There's been many people accusing him of a lot of things. It's not just one person. It's been many, many people of him and Natalie.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like interesting how I'm pretty sure all these people know what's going on behind the scenes or have seen something suspicious, but they look the other way and they continue to support. And then go back to the same thing. One day, we're going to talk about it and be like, oh, I can't believe he was doing that.
Yeah, but everybody already said it. So, and it's interesting because they suck in his dick because he cuts the checks.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's crazy. It's really crazy what money does.
That's why they don't fuck with us over there. It's just that work. But we won't get into that. But going back to Jayla and Scotty, shopping in the Prada store, they bring out the champagne and, Jayla does ask if, about her pregnancy, like, how do you feel about going into motherhood? And Scotty gets into feeling like she fears the unknown of her being unknown. And she fears like, just how her body's going to change and how people are going to view her, how Lemmy, is he still going to like her? Like, will this baby change the dynamic of it? This is the thing. This is a pattern I noticed in a lot of girls that act like Scotty. They look for male validation. Even the way she's talking, everything is surrounded by Lemmy. There's nothing that points to self. Mm-hmm. What are you going to do for yourself, Scotty? Everything is, will people forget about me? Will Lemmy not look at me the same? Everything is about everyone else around you. You're constantly seeking validation instead of just loving yourself. And that's the main component that girls like her, how they act, the girls that choose the man over their friends, the girls that are just, kind of insecure. And she's kind of showing that right now. And I was really annoyed. Like, really? If this man that got you pregnant can understand that, like, I don't know what you're doing.
And I'm not gonna lie, the more he shows himself, the more I'm like, you are fucking immature. Yep. I really do not know. I'm biased. Okay.
Yeah.
I really do not know how women love men because they are so immature. They really are. No wonder you can relate to 25-year-old Scotty with the body because you're fucking immature. Like, even you can see her get annoyed with him on the lives.
Yeah,
like, she's trying to talk and he's just doing some dumb shit, trying to look cute for the camera. And it's like,
Yeah, it's weird. Like, even her talking about, is the relationship going to get boring? Is Lemmy going to get tired of her? Nervous about the body change, And this is where Jayla is encouraging her and giving her, like, a pep talk and, like, saying that she needs to do stuff for her and, like, just understand that, whatever you fear, like, that's not going to happen and whatever. She was talking about God and everything. Like, this is, trusting God and all this stuff. Like, he's going to take care of you. And, I appreciated that little conversation. I appreciated that scene, but it just showed me too, like, how insecure Scotty is. Mm-hmm. And listen, there's nothing wrong with it, but I feel like this is one of those situations where you're going to low-key waste your life in a toxic relationship focusing on the other person instead of focusing on yourself. And then once you're out of it and all this time has been wasted, you're going to realize, like, damn, I didn't even love myself back then. Like, I wasted so much time pouring all of my energy into someone else when it could have been poured into me. And then
Cassie and Diddy.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Because even
history rhymes.
You're literally listening to him. You're doing everything he says. That's probably why he chose you.
Hence why and this is something I talked about with you, but you asked me who does Let Me Know that he got his short ass. He's not even model status, like short model height. Walked the runway for Fashion Week in Paris for Prada.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you mean how? He got Diddy's sons on a docuseries. What do you think? Diddy's still very connected. And in my opinion, I feel like it's a thank you for allowing Diddy and his team to speak on his behalf on his platform. And I think that's how he got there. That's why he's in Paris. That's why you're seeing Zeus continuing to get bigger. That's why you see Ray J going through a lot right now, because Ray J stepped on a few bad toes. Now his heart is not working. He went to the hospital. He lost his kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't think all this is a coincidence? And I know it's like, how do you bring it back to Diddy? But Diddy look at the fucking documentary. Look at the documentary. And then his sons are on the network. Come on. And then you see all these things. It's fucking weird, man. And it's not far-fetched. That community is very small. Mm-hmm. It's very gate-kept. Mm-hmm. And when you reach that height, I don't know, man. I think it was a thank you.
Yeah, I'm happy you said that, because that was one of the first things when we talked about this, like, off camera. I was like, yo, you're right. Like, I didn't even think about that. And that's a great thing to point out, especially when, Lemmy was invited to Diddy parties. Like, he brought some of the baddies with him. And whoosh. Wow, this gets really deep, especially since there are claims that Zeus Network
runs
trafficking, so it's like, did you also do that with Diddy, like with these girls that you bring on the platform? So it's really, it goes really deep, and it's really crazy shit. But then Marlos, that's his name, Marlos, or
Marlo, the stylist comes with some very pretty bags.
Yeah.
He changes the scene. We leave, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, so the girls are on their way to the Kit Kat Club to meet Natalie. So now Dolly is discussing the situation with Summer again, and she's just saying that she's tired of Summer playing in her face and how she don't even know that I be pouring water in her drinks. So most of the time, she's not even getting that drunk, and she's just still popping off. So now she feels like she's doing it for all the theatrics, and she don't even be drunk. She just be talking shit and is fully aware of what she's doing. And this was an interesting thing. I was like, oh, wow, you be pouring water in her drinks? That's new information. That's good to know. Mm-hmm. And Lex is like, yeah, Summer doesn't even notice. And I was like, wow.
You got Summer in the other car venting about how Lex and Dolly can't accept that she just doesn't want to be friends with them anymore. And Rolly's like, no, they know that you don't want to be friends anymore. Like, But Rolly also says that Summer's not listening. Like
she keeps antagonizing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Summer really, truly does not believe that she's antagonizing, which is really crazy to me. And then she goes on to say, I can say whatever I want. So I'm like, okay, so I guess you kind of are antagonizing them. Mm-hmm. Then we go back to the other car, and, Killa starts talking about the situation with Nuno. Oh my God. Again. It's so dragged out. You could tell Dolly feels the same way, because she makes a comment on it. And she's like, yeah, this shit is dragged out. And then they start going back and forth. And Dolly says K-Rican started the beef first. And y'all really don't got no beef. Like, K-Rican's not even here. It's mad stupid.
I appreciate Killa clocking Dolly, because she said, I don't get involved with the big three shit. Don't fucking get involved with this conversation. And I think that's where it needs to end, because... Point blank period. I know Dolly went on and on and
she
on
did.
To try to prove a point and try to speak loud, but at the end of the day, Killa got that. Like, she's like, I don't get involved in your shit, stay out of mine. Mm-hmm. So then they get to the bar or whatever the fuck, and Natalie is fucking mad. She's going off. She's like, I feel like I have 50 fucking kids. And I feel her, because fucking trying to grieve.
Yeah.
And you got Summer's annoying drunk ass calling you 5 times. But now we find out that she called her 5 times. And that's when Natalie answered after that.
Yeah.
So she's like, I want Summer now. bring her first. And, you know, she yelling at Summer like she her little kid. Like, sit right there where I can see you. And you can see, Summer's laughing. We're like, Summer, you annoying, bro.
No, she really is.
So she's laughing. She thinks it's funny. And then that's kind of where the episode ends.
Yeah, the episode ends there. And then we see the preview. We see Natalie going off on Summer. We see Lemmy and Scotty on a fucking date. Can we not? Can we fucking not? Like, can we save this for Scotty with a baby? Like, why the fuck am I seeing Lemmy so much? Like, I kind of miss when he was behind the scenes. I didn't like that. I saw them on a date. I was like, ugh, this is cringe.
And I love how everyone notices that this is just a promo for their spinoff.
Yeah, literally. And I'm like, ugh.
It's funny because I feel like they think that we're pretty dumb. Just like they thought that people wouldn't notice that they claimed they were in New York when they were in Chicago.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I guess some people eating it up because actually
they did the same thing with DR, remember?
Yes. Yes.
Nobody clocked that, but we clocked that.
So it's like, I don't know. I see right through it though.
Yeah.
Television.
Just seeing him asking her, like, what is, like...
You know what's crazy? He's going to edit himself always to look like the good guy.
Yes.
The innocent gospel preacher boy.
And even, like, with their interactions on the live, like, it's... Oh, my God. I just... Oh.
Get it on my face.
You can literally smell the insecurity. You know, those guys that are insecure and that they constantly feel the need to overcompensate.
I guess they're both insecure then.
And that's terrible. That's fucking terrible. But Scotty, that is what she wants. She is right where she wants to be. She's right where she wants to be.
She's a victim of being groomed, so.
Oh, that too. And now she has to unlearn all the shit that she was taught and get out of that conditioned mindset because that's what she is right now, conditioned. Those pick-me girls are conditioned. So, I mean... Then we see Tavy and Nunu. They arguing, they fighting. And we see Tink and Dolly. Tink talk about, nah, Dolly, you lost. So I guess Dolly kind of confronts the situation. And I don't know, Rolly's talking about somebody hit her. Who the fuck hit Rolly?
I have no idea.
So that is what we see in the preview. And that's basically what's to come for the next episode. I mean... my thoughts on this episode, you already know how I feel. I feel like it was pretty dry, even with the dialogue. Like, you know what I mean? There were certain things that were interesting where we learned new information, but I feel like all the dialogue scenes were pretty dragged out, you know? And that, to me, made it boring because it was dragged. Only like 2 scenes we learned new information. That's it.
And you guys know how I feel already about this episode. I think I talked about it enough, but I am curious to know what you guys think about this episode. Did you think it was interesting? Do you agree with Tiana? Do you agree with me? I'm pretty sure the majority agree with Tiana because I've seen the comments and a lot of people do agree that it was boring. I just, I got to be the devil's advocate anyway. So let us know if we missed anything. Let us know where you're from. We have some stuff coming out on the Patreon. We actually just uploaded a podcast episode there. It's the P. Diddy, The Reckoning Part 3. And Part 4 will be on Patreon only because, we never put a trigger warning. And it's a little bit more on sensitive topics and stuff like that. That I feel like it needs to be on the Patreon. We also have exclusive content coming there from the Why Are You Here
Jocelyn's TV network premiere.
Yep. We have a lot of interesting stuff being posted there. So if you guys are interested in more content, go check out our Patreon, which we're going to leave down below.
Yep, for sure. And with that being said, where can they find you?
You guys can find me on Instagram. That's JESSI.strange. And where can they find you, Tiana?
And you guys, it's a new Instagram, y'all. I changed my Instagram name. It's no longer Resume1. So now it's .TianaLock. Oh my God. So you can find me on Instagram at it's.TianaLock. Oh my God. It sounds so weird saying it. I'm so used to saying Random Anyone. But yes, that's where you can find me on Instagram. You can find us on Instagram at The Petty Headquarters. You can find us on YouTube and all podcast platforms at The Petty Headquarters. Definitely leave a review, leave a comment, share, like Apple. You can leave a review, rate, Spotify, rate, all that good shit. All right. And like she said, Patreon will be linked below. So definitely check that out. We have a lot of shit coming on there. So yeah, with that being said, this was your weekly dose of mess.